Welcome to the Portable Classroom next program. Today we are going to learn how to use the present perfect continuous. You can also call this tense the present perfect progressive tense. So in the previous videos we talked about how to use the present perfect tense. We know that we use the present perfect tense for three different situations. We can use it to talk about duration, experience, or completion. Now, we use the present perfect continuous tense in a very similar way as how we use the present perfect tense. Now, before we go deeper into this, let's first study the following examples. Example number 1, Peter is doing his homework. He started doing it 3 hours ago. So you can see that right now, Peter is doing his homework. Okay, and he started doing it 3 hours ago. So this is the past. He started doing it 3 hours ago, and he's still doing it now. So you can see that it is an action that started at some point in the past, and it continues, and is still the person, Peter, is still doing that action now. Now, for talking about something like this, we know that we can use the present perfect tense. Duration. So for this, we can say that Peter has, now the verb past participle of the verb do is done. So Peter has done his homework. And then 3 hours ago, it started 3 hours ago. So then for 3 hours. So this is one of the tenses that we can do. So present perfect tense, talking about an action that has started sometime in the past and it is still true at the moment of speaking. So this example number 1. We can use present perfect tense for this, but we can also use the new tense that we are about to learn. It's called the present perfect continuous tense. But before we do that, let's take a look at the second example too. Second example, Kate is having a piano lesson. So we know now, at the moment of speaking, Kate is having a piano lesson. So this is what's happening right now. And then the piano lesson, the lesson actually started an hour ago. So this is an hour ago. Piano lesson started an hour ago. So you can see that it has been an hour in between the past and now. So it started sometime in the past, and Kate is still having a piano lesson now. Again, we can use the present perfect tense for a situation like this. So we say Kate has. Now, the verb past participle of the word have, it's had. So Kate has had a piano lesson for an hour. So this is an hour in between. So present perfect tense. Okay, but what is so special about these two cases? You can see that there is something very similar, something almost identical in both cases, is that in both cases, both Peter and Kate, they are still doing the action at the moment of speaking. So right now, Peter is doing his homework. And here, right now, Kate is having a piano. It's kind of like present continuous tense, remember? So what is present perfect continuous? Basically, present perfect continuous is like the combination of the continuous tense, present continuous tense, talking about somebody is doing something right now, and the present perfect tense. We want to know how long had that person been doing that. So it's kind of like the combination of both tenses put together, the present perfect tense and the present continuous tense. So the format of the present perfect continuous should look like this. Let's look at the form first, and then let's jump back to the example. So it's kind of like present perfect tense. You can see this is the form of the present perfect tense, have, has with verb past participle. All right, and you can see here, this is the form for the continuous tense, be verb with ing, like I'm singing, I'm talking, you are watching this video. we put these two together. This is talking about an ongoing action, and we use this to talk about something that started sometime in the past and it is still true at the moment. So we put both of them together to form the form of the present perfect continuous. So have, has. Now the verb past participle form of the be verb, it's been. Be was verb been. So it turns into this. You can see that. And then ing. So this is the form for the present perfect continuous tense. Have, has, been, and ing. So let's go back to 2 examples that we had. Now Peter is doing it. We know Peter is doing it now. And he had been doing it for 3 hours. So we can rewrite the sentence using the present perfect continuous tense. So we can say Peter, remember the format, has now been, we need a be verb. Ing for do is doing. You can see that. So has been doing his homework for 3 hours. So this is the form for the present perfect continuous. You can see that this part is the present perfect part, has with verb past participle. This part is the present continuous part, be verb with verb ing. So it's like the combination of both tenses. So what do we use the present perfect tense, present perfect continuous tense to talk about? We use it to talk about something that is still happening and it started sometime in the past and is still happening right now. Let's take a look at the second example, and let's rewrite the sentence using present perfect continuous. Again, Kate has now been, remember the be verb, and be verb, the ing form of have is having. So Kate has been having a piano lesson. Let's make it quick. For an hour. Okay, so as you can see, this is the form for the present perfect continuous. Has, this is the present perfect part, and this is the present continuous part. So present perfect continuous is like the combination of the present perfect tense and the present continuous tense. We use it to talk about something that started sometime in the past and the person is still doing the action at the moment of speaking. Okay, so we learned the format, we learned how to make sentences using present perfect continuous. Let's go to the next section. In this section, we're going to compare the present perfect tense with the present perfect continuous. I'm pretty sure that some of you are kind of confused. Then if they are almost the same, you can see that they are interchangeable. They're interchangeable. You see, present perfect tense, present perfect continuous tense, they're almost interchangeable. We can rewrite a present perfect tense sentence into a present perfect continuous tense sentence. Now what's the difference? We're going to compare the present perfect tense with the present perfect continuous tense. So first of all, let's talk about the present perfect tense. We know the present perfect tense, we can use it to talk about 3 different situations. In 3 different situations. Number 1 is talking about the duration. Number 2, for somebody's experience. And number 3, we can use it to talk about the completion of things. Okay, so that's present perfect tense. Use it in 3 different situations. As for the present perfect continuous, remember it's the combination of present perfect and present continuous. We can only use the present perfect continuous to talk about the duration, not the experience, not the completion. So in the following sentences, you're going to see, one more time, 1, 2, 3, action. So in the following sentences, you're going to see in some sentences, we cannot use the present perfect continuous. For example, number 1, these are the sentences that we do not use the present perfect continuous tense with. Number 1, how many times you to America, to USA? So this is about somebody else's experience. It's not duration, so we cannot use the present perfect continuous. So the answer is, how many times Have you, and the verb PP of be is been to the USA. This is about a person's experience. And I have been there 4 times. The reason why we cannot use the present perfect continuous tense in example number 1 is because they are about a person's experience. Number 2, again, we see the keyword ever, and that's a word that we use to talk about a person's experience. So we cannot use the present perfect continuous. Instead, we have to use the present perfect tense. So have you ever? Now, the verb past participle of try is tried. It's a regular verb, so tried. Have you ever tried this before? No, I haven't. I have never tried it before. Again, it's experience, so no present perfect continuous. Example number 3. We see the keyword yet. It's about completion. So again, no present perfect continuous. Present perfect tense only. Have you regular verb finish? So ed at the end. Have you finished your homework yet? Yes, I have. I have already, again, finished it. Okay. So for example number 3, it's about completion. And that is why we do not use the present perfect continuous tense in this situation. Now, when can we use the present perfect continuous tense? We say that we can only use it to talk about duration. So when we use the present perfect and the present perfect continuous to talk about the duration of an event, are they the same? Or is there a slight, very little subtle difference between the two tenses? Well, there is. So let's take a look at the final section, talking about duration. So I'm going to give you 2 examples and study these 2 examples. Of course, just bear in mind that these 2 tenses are almost identical if you want to use the both of them to talk about duration. They're almost the same. But there is a slight difference between them. Okay, so situation number 1, Peter started to learn English 6 years ago. So it was 6 years ago, very, very long time ago. He still goes to English classes every week. So he still goes to English classes every week, but he is not in the English class right now. Maybe yes, but we don't know. Okay, now situation number 2, Peter started to read his English textbook an hour ago. So it happened an hour ago, and he's still reading it now. He's still doing it at the moment of speaking. So although we can use the present perfect and the present perfect continuous in both tenses, but it will be better if we use the present perfect tense for example number 1, because the person is not actually doing it right now. He's not in the English class right now. He still goes to English classes every week. So that's the truth. That's a fact. We use the present perfect to talk about this. It will be better than using the present perfect continuous, because we use the present perfect continuous to emphasize on the fact that a person is still doing something at the moment. So example number 1, it's better to use present perfect. So we say Peter has learned English for 6 years. Of course, you can also use the present perfect continuous tense. It's okay. Now in situation number 2, we know that Peter is reading his English textbook right now. So to emphasize on the fact that he is still doing it right now, it's better for us to use the present perfect continuous tense so that the listener knows he is doing it right now. So we say Peter has been, remember been, reading his English textbook for an hour. Of course, in example number 2, it's okay to use the present perfect tense. Then But if you use the present perfect tense, you do not put emphasis on the fact that Peter is still reading the book. Okay, maybe he is reading the book, maybe he is not. You do not put emphasis on the fact that he's still reading it. If you want to emphasize on the fact that he's still reading it, it's better to use the present perfect continuous. So present perfect tense and present perfect continuous tense, they are basically the same. We use the present perfect for more situations: duration, experience, and completion. We use the present perfect continuous tense only for one situation, and that is duration. Present perfect continuous is like combining the present perfect tense with the present continuous tense. We use that to talk about an action that started sometime in the past and the person is still doing it right now. They're interchangeable. If you want to talk about the duration, you can use both present perfect and present perfect continuous. But two tenses, there is a in between two tenses there is a slight difference. Present perfect continuous emphasize on the action, how long the action has been happening and the person is still doing it right now. When we use the present perfect tense, we do not put emphasis on that. Okay, so if you want to know more about the present perfect and the present perfect continuous, welcome to go to the Portable Classroom. And this is the page for the lesson plan for the present perfect progressive or continuous tense. Feel free to use any resources on this page. Thanks for your patience. And for more information, please go to www.theportableclassroom.blogspot.tw. Thanks for your patience.